Ni vill minska invandringen med 90% och 2/3 av svenskarna uppfattar Sverigedemokraterna som ett rasistiskt parti enligt en mätning som Novus tog fram till TV4 den 1 juli i år. Hur tänker du kring det?
Ja, man uppfattar oss som ett rasistiskt parti. Jag vet inte om man på något sätt också definierar vad man menar med rasism eller någonting i den frågeställningen. Men för mig så är det inte så intressant. Vi är inte ett rasistiskt parti. Vi har inga sådana utgångspunkter alls. Så att det är märkligt.
Men att 2/3 av Sveriges befolkning uppfattar er som rasister, om du då inte anser att ni är det, är inte det ett problem?
Jo, det är det ju. Givetvis är det ett problem om det är på det viset. Samtidigt så är det ju, tycker jag, viktigt för oss att i olika sammanhang och alla sammanhang förklara att man kan kritisera den här invandringspolitiken som förs idag utan att ha rasistiska utgångspunkter. Det blir lite märkligt, kan jag tycka, i hela den här diskussionen, därför att riktig rasism har ställt till det väldigt för en väldigt massa människor genom historien. Vi har Sydafrika, vi har den amerikanska södern, vi har inte minst Nazi-Tyskland där vi har haft riktig rasism. Och att jämföra mig med rasism tycker jag det är väldigt märkligt och nästan kränkande mot de människor som har utsatts för rasism på riktigt.
Jag måste bara, så att du hjälper oss att definiera vad du menar med riktig rasism i kontrast till vilken annan slags rasism menar du då?
Jag menar inte att det finns någon kontrast gentemot annan sorts rasism, utan rasism är ju att man anser att det finns olika människoraser och att de har olika värde och att de som är mer värda har rätt att förtrycka de som är mindre värda. Det är det som är rasism, och någon sån utgångspunkt är inte jag, och jag tror det är väldigt få i Sverige som har den utgångspunkten faktiskt.
Who you just saw was Jimmy Åkesson. He is the leader of the Sverigedemokraterna, aka the Sweden Democrats, which are a far-right fascist party here in Sweden full of literal Nazis that was founded by literal Nazis. I am not exaggerating, that's literally the truth. The party was founded by someone who went to Germany to volunteer in the army of the failed Austrian painter with a mustache. Talking about the history of Sverigedemokraterna and all of the Yahtzee things that they have done, it could take us hours. But this video is not about them. Going back, we just saw a literal Nazi who, together with almost all party members, has said a lot of racist things, has the audacity to say that he's not racist. But as I mentioned before, this video is not about the long evidence of how he is a racist piece of shit, but like him, many racist politicians and people in general around the world consider themselves not to be racist, even though while acting like racist people. But why? If no one is racist, then who is a real racist? Today's video is a little different. I want to share with you something that I've been thinking about for years. And even though I've shared short reflections about this topic with loved ones and also on short format videos and posts on my social media accounts, today, I want to gather all of my thoughts about it the best I can and not only share my opinion but also my heart and feelings with you, my audience. I know I usually make videos more like research based and also quoting other like authors and specifically the colonial authors, but today, as I mentioned, it's a little different and you will understand why. Please share your feelings in the comment section as well. I will be reading previous episodes' comments at the end of this episode as well. I'm also going to share with you a very important update about this project. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe and to check my Patreon and my Coffee account where I share and I also sell my stickers, which is going very, very well. But let's continue with today's episode. What makes someone racist? I already did a research-based episode discussing all of these definitions about what's racism, what's race. Go check it out. As I mentioned before, this episode is more about having a conversation and sharing my thoughts and feelings about the topic. A lot of people who are racist are ignorant. That's a fact, but racism is not just about ignorance. It's deeper than that. Just because someone says that they're not racist, that doesn't mean that they're not racist. It has nothing to do with someone's intentions, with whether you have non-white friends, whether you have non-white family members, etc. Like, we need to stop using those things as an excuse. Slave owners had kids. Slave owners had black kids who they sent to Europe to study. Like, having black children, that doesn't mean like that you're not racist. Racism is killing people. Those who suffer from racism are expected to be quiet simply because talking about it make people feel uncomfortable. Nowadays, no one is racist. Even Nazis get offended when you call them racist. Even people covered with fascist tattoos get offended if you call them racist. Politicians who support racist policies don't see themselves as racist. Medical personnel who mistreat black and POC people get offended when you call them racist. Cops who kill and harass black and POC people, they don't see themselves as racist. Teachers who give black and POC students a hard time, they get offended if you call them racist. Someone does something racist, you tell them, hey, that's racist, and they start crying, offended. I'm not racist, how dare you? I dated a black person once, I don't see color. And my personal favorite, by the way, you're the racist for calling me racist.
Psst, everyone's got it. Now you can got it too. The fucking audacity. Now in a can.
There's no racism in the world because no one is racist. Racism is such a taboo nowadays. You are even afraid to discuss it on social media. Like, when you talk about racism, when you talk about these topics, for example, on TikTok, where I am very active, by the way, and you have to go follow me on TikTok if you don't. I have to use asterisks to talk when I talk about these things. When I write subtitles, I have to use like specific words. I have to disguise the words because I could get flagged by, yes, being a racist. We're talking about racism. Here's the thing. If no one in this world is racist, then where is all of this racism coming from? Because one thing is what you feel and another thing is our facts. Now let's talk about racism is a system. Racism is a system together with imperialism and white supremacy, and some of the reasons why we're not taught that racism is a system is because we have to think how we relate to it. We have to think about our position within that system, but we also have to think and identify the tools and institutions that uphold it and that also depend, as I mentioned before, on racism, imperialism, and colonialism to exist. To see racism, imperialism, and colonialism as systems instead of just ignorant opinions makes us think about how, for example, how migration agencies intentionally create laws to punish documented migrants and turn them into undocumented migrants just because of their ethnic origin, making them even more vulnerable. When we see racism as a system, we have to think about how our favorite politicians collaborate with corporations that sell weapons that are used to bomb the global south. To see all of these systems of oppression as systems makes us realize how systemic violence is very organized, calculated, legalized, industrialized, and exported. When we see all of these systems of oppression as systems, we have to think how we relate to each other, how we see each other. We have to come to terms that liberal symbolic reductionist definitions of racism are in place not to fight racism, but to make us complacent and ignorant of what's happening around us. I personally believe in a more hopeful approach, even though it takes more work to understand and reflect on it. But at the end of the day, it is quite simple. Why do you think the system spends so much time and money and resources in propaganda to convince us otherwise? Why do you think there's so much politically invested energy in not only defund education, but also prevent certain topics from being discussed within our education system? All systems have a beginning, but they also have an end. But how that end is going to be, that's the question. And what position are we going to take? And also, what's going to happen afterwards? Thank you so much for watching this episode. I know this is something very different from what I usually do here on YouTube. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments what you think. And now I'm gonna be reading some of your comments from my previous episode. So I did this episode about the barric gold in the Dominican Republic. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. It's really, really important, especially because these mining companies hate the attention. So go check it out. Mining is the most essential role Canada plays in the alliance of Western imperialist countries. Like, for real, 70% of all mining operations around the world have their headquarters in Canada. Yes, and that's something that a lot of people don't know about. This one is in Spanish, but I'm going to translate it to English. Thank you so much for your investigative work, and spreading information is very important and a very good video. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. I am also, as I mentioned in the episode, I'm on TikTok, I am on Patreon where I have a lot of exclusive content, and I'm on Ko-fi where I sell stickers. I have had, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, people who have purchased stickers. Thank you so much for purchasing stickers. So now I need to talk about a very important update about this project. I need to take a short pause. Nothing bad has happened to me. I'm perfectly fine, but due to personal and professional reasons, I need to take a pause from Mango in the North, sadly. I will still be posting content on my Patreon for my patrons, but I will not be posting content on YouTube and on my social media accounts. I will come back at the end of August, okay? Listen, I know that on social media and on the internet world, even if you skip a day, people forget you, but I trust you. I know you guys are not gonna forget me. Thank you so much for subscribing, for commenting, and see you in August. Bye!